Hello everyone, this video is for standard 8. In the previous video for standard 8 we had solved exercise 3a, and in this video we are going to read a few properties of a perfect square, and we'll solve a few examples also that are given before exercise 3b. Okay, you'll have to learn those properties and please pay attention. Let's begin with property number 1. So let's read it. A number ending in 2, 3, 7, or 8 is never a perfect square. I have already made a video on this, and the description link of that video would be given in the description box. You can watch that video for better understanding. Okay. So a number whose ones place is occupied by 2, 3, 7, or 8 will not be a perfect square. Okay. And the examples have been given here. Examples are these. ठीक है, if you look at these numbers, sorry, just these, not these. Okay, not these. If you look at these examples, you'll find that 82, 93, 87, 248, all of these numbers are ending with 2, 3, 7, and 8. So according to the property number 1, then these numbers will not be a perfect square because they have 2, 3, 7, or and 8 at their ones place. Let's see the next property. A number ending in an odd number of zeros is never a perfect square. Okay, this one. A number ending in odd number of zeros. Odd number of zeros will not be a perfect square. Let's see the examples. Odd numbers you must be knowing that 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. These numbers are called the odd numbers which are not divisible by 2. The numbers which are not divisible by 2 are called the odd numbers. And if any number contains odd number of zeros to the left of it, sorry, to the right of it, if rightmost place of any number is occupied by odd number of zeros, then the number is not a perfect square. Let's see the example. First example, the first example is 160. It has how many zeros? 1 0. And one as it has 1 0, which is an odd number, so it will not be a perfect square. Next example is 4000, which is having 3 zeros, so this is also not a perfect square. And the next example, which is 9 lakhs, it has 5 zeros in it, so this will also not be a perfect square. Let's see the next property. If a number when divided by 3 leaves a remainder of 2, then it is not a perfect square. Okay, this is a bit time taking. You can just divide a number by 3, and if its remainder is 2, then the number will not be a perfect square. So let's see the first example of this property. 170 is the first example. Let's divide it by 3. 170 when divided by 3, 5, 3 5s are 70 or 15, sorry, and now 2 0, 5 6 sorry, 3 6 18, and the remainder is 0. As we have 2 as its remainder, so the given number will not be divisible by, sorry, will not be a perfect square. Okay, in the same way you can try other examples of this property, that is 578, 617, 722. Just divided by 3. If it has 2 in its remainder, then the number is a non-perfect square, or the number is not a perfect square. Okay, let's see the property number 4. If a number when divided by 4 leaves 2 or 3 as remainder, then the number is not a perfect square. Okay, if a number when divided by sorry, let's see the fourth one. I was seeing, chalo, this one. If a number when divided by 4 leaves 2 or 3 as remainder, then it is not a perfect square. Okay, if you divide a number and you have divide a number by 4 and you have 2 or 3 as its remainder, then it will not be a perfect square. Let's check for the examples. Let's divide and the examples given in this question are 578. Let's just try check the first example, that is 578. Let's divide it by 4. Fine. 4 divided by 578. Chalo. 4 ones are 4. The remainder is 1. 7. 4 fours are 16. Okay. And the remainder is 1 and 8. As I'm lacking some space, so I'm solving in this way. You try to understand it. Now 4 fours are 16. And what do we have as the remainder? That is, I'm writing it here, 2. Okay. So as we have 2 as the remainder when the number, that is 578 divided by 4, so the given number is not a perfect square. So you can check for the next other examples of this property number 4. That is, you check it yourself. You divide 654, 798, 1002 by 4, and if you have 2 or 3 as the remainder, then the number would be not a perfect square. And I'm sure that these numbers will have 2 or 3 as their remainder. Let's see the next property of this perfect square. The next property says that the square of an even number is always even. Okay, you might have felt it. 2 is an even number, as I've told you already, that all the even numbers are divisible by 2, or you can say in opposite way also, that if a number is divisible by 2, then the number is an even number. So square of 2 is 4, square of 4 is 16, square of 6 is 36, and square of 8 is 64. Let's see the next example. Property number 6. The square of an odd number is always odd. You know that the numbers which are not divisible by 2 are called odd numbers. Okay. Starting from 1, we are taking just natural numbers right here. 1 is an odd number and its square is 1 only. 3 is an odd number and its square is 9. Okay, in the same way, 5 has 25 as its square, 7 has 49 as its square, and 9 has 81 as its square. So as these numbers, that is 1 3 1 3 5 7 and 9 are odd numbers, so their squares will also be an odd number. So let's move to the next property, which says that the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction. Always remember that the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction, and but the square of an improper fraction would not be smaller than the given number. Okay, and you must be knowing that the proper fraction, the definition of proper fraction, when numerator by denominator, we write in this way. Okay, and when numerator is lesser than denominator, then the fraction is proper. Okay, and when the denominator is lesser than numerator, sorry, denominator is yes, denominator is lesser than numerator, then the fraction is improper. Okay, numerator greater than denominator, then it means this is an improper fraction. You can make notes also of these things. Just see the video and make notes of it, of these all things that I'm telling you. So you can compare also. See, this is 2 by 3 and this is what? The square of 2 by 3. The property is what? The property says that the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the given number. Okay, the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction. Let's check it. What we have? We have, sorry, 2 by 3 and its square. 2 by 3 square is what? You can calculate it. That is 4 by 9. Fine. Let's compare it. 2 by 3 and 4 by 9. Okay. To compare, what we generally do, we cross multiply. Okay. I think you might be knowing it. So the product of 2 and 9 and the product of 3 and 4. 2 multiplied by 9 is what? 18. And 3 multiplied by 4 is what? 12. So 18 is greater than 12. Thus we come to the conclusion that 2 by 3 is greater than square of 2 by 3. I'm writing in this here. The square of, sorry, 2 by 3 square is what? 4 by 9 and 2 by 3 is greater than 4 by 9 as we have seen in the video. Fine. Let's move to the next property. Property number 8. For every natural number n, we have n plus 1 whole square minus n square equals n plus 1 plus n. Okay, let's see it, how it happens. Chalo, I'm showing you how it happens. This was the property, and let's see. You should know one formula, that a square minus b square is equal to what? A plus b multiplied by a minus b. Okay, you must be familiar with this. I'm writing in proper way here. A plus b multiplied by a minus b. Fine. Chalo, write it in your copy. This formula is very important. So, and in this property, it is written that for every natural number we have n plus 1 whole square minus n square is equal to n plus 1 plus n. Let's see how. N plus 1 whole square minus n square. Let's take this as b and this as a. Okay, we by formula we know that a plus b and a minus b. Now see, we are putting the values now. So at the place of a we have to put n plus 1 and at the place of b we have to put n. Okay, and again, as there is no space, I'm writing it below it. N plus 1 minus n. At the place of a we have written n plus 1 and at the place of b we have written this. Chalo, now see that n and minus n, that can be cancelled out. What we are left with now? N plus 1, sorry, this bracket is not needed right now, plus n into 1. 1 is only left here. So any number multiplied by 1 gives the number itself. So n plus 1 plus n. So the property is verified that the difference of square of two consecutive numbers is the sum of the two numbers. Okay, let's take an example and solve it. Okay, in the book it is given that the two numbers, we have to take two numbers as 36 and 35. Okay, let's begin. let's solve how it has been given, how it will be verified. 36 square minus 35 square. By the formula, you know that. What is the formula? A square minus b square is, wait, a plus b into a minus b. At the place of a, what do we have? 36. And at the place of b, what do we have? 35. Okay, so let's write the, using the formula, let's solve it. 36 minus 35, this is plus, I'm sorry for this, try to understand it. 36 minus 35, fine. So the sum of 36 and 35 is what? 71. Okay, and the difference of 36 and 35 is what? 1. So any number multiplied by 17, any number multiplied by 1 is the number itself. So we have come to the conclusion that the sum of the difference of squares of two consecutive numbers is the sum of the two consecutive numbers. Okay, you'll have the use of this property in the examples and exercises. Okay, so let's come to the next property, which says that for every natural number n, we have sum of first n odd natural numbers. Odd natural, then they must be odd as well as natural, is n square. Okay, so let's see how. We have to take the consecutive odd numbers, just consecutive odd numbers we have to take. So let's take first 5 consecutive odd numbers, that is for consecutive odd, not only consecutive odd natural numbers. And you know that natural number starts from 1, whole number starts from 0, and natural number starts from 1 till infinity. Okay, no fractions involved. Chalo, let's see. Let's write first one. Okay, let's take first 5 odd natural numbers, that is starting from 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Okay, now the sum of all these three is what? 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. Okay, 1 3 4 5 9 9 7 16 16 9 25. And 25 is what? 25 is the square of 5. Okay, so it is clear that the sum of first odd natural numbers is the square of it. I mean, for every natural number, and we have sum of the first odd natural number equal to n square. Okay, just read it if you have any confusion in my speeches. Let's see the second last property of a perfect square number. Three natural numbers m, n, p are three natural numbers. Look at this example, property number 10. Three natural numbers m, n and p are said to form a Pythagorean triplet m, n, p if m square plus n square is equal to p square. After some time you'll be familiar with Pythagoras theorem, which is relevant to it. Okay, this in that sum of the two base, and for any triangle, the square of base and perpendicular is equal to the square of hypotenuse. That is the Pythagoras theorem, but you don't have to read it right now. So let's be stuck to our property, and the important result is also very necessary to know. For every natural number m greater than 1, we have 2m, m square minus 1, m square plus 1 as the Pythagorean triplet. You may be asked to find the Pythagorean triplet, or you may be asked to verify whether the given triplets are Pythagorean or not. So in that case you need to use this formula, okay, or this one also, okay. And let's check the examples also. um Pythagorean triplets are made by 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1, okay, m square plus 1 for any natural number m, ठीक है. So let's check. If m is 4, then they are Pythagorean triplets. That is, using the formula we'll find the Pythagorean triplets also, and we'll check whether they are Pythagorean triplet or not by using this formula, okay. So let's begin. Here m is equal to 4. 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1, okay. So when m is 4, we have, let's find the numbers that will form the triplet. The first number would be 2m, that is 2 multiplied by 4, that is 8, fine. Next number of Pythagorean triplet would be determined by this formula. So m square, that is 4 square minus 1, it means that 4 4s are 16 and 16 minus 1 is 15, fine. And the third and the last, you can say 4 square plus 1 gives 17. Now what do we have? We are left with 8, 15 and 17. So 8, 15 and 17 are the numbers with us. And how will determine whether it is a Pythagorean triplet or not? We'll find the square of all these three. We'll add the squares of all these two, and if the sum of square of all these two numbers is equal to the square of this number, then the triplet is said to be a Pythagorean triplet. Let's do it. The square of 8 is what? It's a square, sum of square of 8 and 15 first we do. You can calculate the square, sorry, what numbers we had? 8, 15 and 17. Let's check whether these triplets form a Pythagorean triplet or not. They already form because we have used the formula only, but still I'm verifying it for your understanding. 8 square plus 15 square, okay. The square of 8 is 64. You can multiply and calculate. I'm doing it directly. You multiply in your copy. Sum of these two, okay, 289, and the square of 17. The square of 17 is 289 only. Thus, it is clear that the sum of square of these two is equal to the square of this. So the given triplet is a Pythagorean triplet. Chalo, let's see the last property, okay. And the last property says that between two consecutive square numbers n square and n plus 1 whole square. There are two n non-perfect square numbers. Okay, we'll understand it by an example. Okay, between two consecutive square numbers, n square and n plus 1 whole square, there are two n non-perfect square numbers. So let's see how. Let's take 2 and 3 as the numbers. Okay, 2 and 3. Okay, and the squares of these two numbers are what? 4 and 9. Okay, and let's see how many non-perfect square numbers between them. After 4 what comes? 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. How many digits are, or how many numbers you can say are there? There are 4 numbers. And according to the rule, how many numbers should there be between these two numbers, that is n square and n plus 1 whole square? 4 and 5, there should be 2n. N is what here? N is this, and this one is n plus 1. Okay, so 2 into 2, which is equal to 4. Thus the property is verified that between 4 and 9, the two perfect squares, there are 4, that is 2n non-perfect square numbers. Is it clear? So let's see the examples now. Let's solve the examples. Yes. The first example says that give reasons to show that none of the numbers given below is a perfect square number. Okay. So how we decide? The simplest or the first property, you can say, you must be knowing that I've told you that the numbers ending in 2, 3, 7 or 8 is never perfect square, and all these numbers contain, first contain 2, second contain 3, third contain 7, and fourth contain 8. So all these numbers are containing the digits that digit on their ones place, that will not make them a perfect square. Okay, so these all numbers are not perfect square. The reason that you can give is just that these numbers are ending in 2, 3, 7 or 8, so these numbers are not a perfect square according to the properties of perfect square. That's it. This question is solved. Give reasons to show that none of the numbers, that is 640, 81,000 and this last one, are not a perfect square number. The second property that you reads a number ending in an odd number of zeros is never a perfect square. Okay? And all these numbers contain odd number of zeros at their rightmost places. Okay? We just have to see the number of zeros on rightmost places. Okay, so first contain 1 0, second contain 3 zeros, and third contain 3 and 2 5 zeros. Okay, so all these contain odd number of zeros at their rightmost place, so they do not make a perfect square. Let's see the next question. State whether the square of the given numbers is even or odd. Take it. So the property that you have read, the property number 5 and 6 reads that the square of an even number is always even and the square of an odd number is always odd. Okay, so if you see, you'll find that the first one is an odd number, second one is an even number, third is an even, and fourth is an odd number. So if it first one is an odd number, then its square would be also an odd number according to the properties. And second, the square of second would be an even, the square of third would also be an even number, and the square of fourth would be an odd number. Just remember that square of an even number is even and square of an odd number is odd. Fine, let's move to the next one. Yes, without adding, find the sum. This is very simple. This is also mentioned in the properties. Property number 9, if you see the property number 9, you come to know that for every natural number n, we have sum of first and odd natural numbers equals n square. Okay, just remember it must starts from 1. Okay, and it must be continuous. There should not be any missing odd number between them. So if you check 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11, these all are continuous odd numbers. And how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ठीक है, these all are continuous 6 odd numbers. So their square would be the square of their sum would be the square of 6, that is 36. So the answer of first is 36. So let's see the next question, that is B of it. Do it yourself. Okay, the second one contains the sum of first odd numbers, so its sum would be the square of 9 number. If you count the digits 1 2 3 4, you come to know that there are 9 numbers and they are odd continuous numbers, odd natural continuous numbers. So they will be the square of 9. Now fifth number says that express 64 as the sum of 8 odd natural numbers. It is very simple. Using the property number 9, you can solve it, because if it is 64, it must be the sum of first 8 odd numbers. Okay, similarly you can solve 21. You just have to write 11 odd natural numbers, 11 odd continuous natural numbers without missing any natural number or any odd natural number between them. You can express this. Express this. Next question, example number 6. Find the Pythagorean triplet whose smallest number is 12. Fine, smallest number is 12. Very good. This is very simple. Using the property number 10, you can do it. Let's see how. The numbers that form the Pythagorean triplets are, their m should be greater than 1. Okay, now the numbers that form Pythagorean triplets are what? 2m, as I've already told you, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1. Fine. So the smallest number, the smallest among us them all is 2m. This is the second smallest and this one is the greatest. Remember that. So the smallest number is 12. So we can write smallest number to be equal to 2m. Take it. And in this way we can find that m is 6. Now you can find the other numbers, that is m square minus 1, which is 36 minus 1, which is 35. Fine. And m square plus 1 equals 36 plus 1 equals 37. So the numbers that form Pythagorean triplets are 12, 35 and 37. Fine. Now see the example number 7. This is based on the property 8. Just read the property once more. Go to your book and read the property number 8. You'll come to know that this is very simple question. It has already been mentioned here that for every natural number n, we have n square, n plus 1 whole square minus n square equals n plus 1 plus n. ठीक है, it means that the difference of two consecutive square numbers is the sum of these numbers, the sum of the given numbers, you can say. So using that property, you can simply find it very easy. You just have to use the formula and find the sum of these two. ठीक है, this would be the answer. Okay, do it yourself. This is very simple. Now using the identity a plus b whole square equals a square plus 2ab plus b square, evaluate. ठीक है, I have already told you the formula. The formula was what? A plus b whole square. Remember this formula. This formula is very, very important. A square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay. 609 whole square. It can be written in the form of 600 plus 9 whole square. A square means what? 600 square plus 2ab. 2 is as it is, and then 600 as the place of a, and this dot means multiplication. Never be confused with it. And the square of b, that is square of 9. Sorry, I have not written b, na? I am writing it again. The 2ab term I am writing. Six square plus 2 into 6,700 plus into 9 plus 9 square. Always remember, you have to use BODMAS everywhere. So if the question contains all these things, that is multiplication and addition, we need to do first multiplication according to the BODMAS rules. So the square of 600 is what? 36 and 4 zeros. Fine. And the square of 9 is what? 81, you know. But before that, we solve this 2ab, that is 2 multiplied by 600 multiplied by 9, which gives 6 to the 12, 12 9 is 108, 108 double 0, 108 double 0. Okay, and then the square of 9 comes. I'm writing it in column form. You can also write and add. Okay, you just have to add, and the sum would be the square of 609. It is very simple. Do it yourself. The next question of it will be done by you, and the sum of it will be done by you. It is already done in the examples. So see the last one of this, not last, second last, you can say. Using the identity a minus b whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square, you have to solve this. Okay, so first one is 491 square. It can be written in the form of 500 minus 9. I'm showing you here only. This formula must be learned in very proper way. Just learn it. And then in square of a, first you have to write the square of 500 would be replaced by the square of a. 2ab would be replaced by 2 multiplied by 500 multiplied by 9, and b square would be replaced by the square of 9. Huh?